Welcome to another episode, everyone. We're talking about Sandman from Rollin 60's. He was the Nipsey Hussle before Nipsey Hussle. And he too was killed by a Rollin, allegedly, because we all know that you're not a Rollin until you kill one. Let's get into it. Sandman from Rollin 60's. The other Nipsey Hussle.
Welcome to Hood War Stories. In this episode, I'll be discussing the life of Sandman the Goose. Sadar Fasai was born on January 12, 1986, in Bulgaria. Although Sandman is from Eritrea, the war between Ethiopia and Eritrea forced his family to migrate to different countries in Africa, leading to his birth in Bulgaria. Due to war and government corruption, the Fasai family could not obtain Sandman's birth certificate, and shortly after his mother gave birth, the family was forced to move to Sudan. In 1993, at the age of 7, the Fasai family moved to the United States in hope of a better future for their family. The family settled in Los Angeles to begin their new life. Sandman was enrolled in school and began second grade at Hyde Park Elementary. He grew up in the heart of the Rollin 60's dime block clique, Hyde Park and 10th Avenue to be exact. In the late 1990s, a young Sandman was already making contributions to the 60's clique that ruled his block. In one incident, Sandman nearly got Drew Down killed. One day, Drew Down was randomly parked in a red car on 10th Ave in Hyde Park. This was a couple houses away from where Sandman lived. On that particular afternoon, Sandman was patrolling the block on his bike, acting as a lookout for enemies or cops. Just the night before, Rollin 60 had been gunned down, and there was a visual at the corner. As Sandman spots Drew in the red car, he busts a U-turn on his bike, pulls up, and says, "What up, cuz?" Drew then threw up the 5, which prompted Sandman to speed off on his bike to the liquor store to alert more 60 members. A few minutes later, 2 carloads of 60 members pull up on Drew and box him in. 2 choppers raised over the roof and were pointed at him, while 2 other 60 members jumped out and swarmed Drew at his car door. Drew didn't even have his car keys to attempt to get away. Drew got Drew down literally, and had to explain himself and plead his case while staring down a barrel of a Tech 9. After a few minutes of deliberation, Drew was given a pass after nearly begging for his life, but he was still stuck because he didn't have his car keys. After the 2 cars drove away, Drew ran up in a 3-story building on 10th Ave with fear in his eyes. A homegirl let him in, made sure the coast was clear, and helped him get out of there alive. In 1997, Sandman's eldest brother died from gangrene, and this tragedy took a heavy toll on young Sandman. His brother was always someone he looked up to and admired. From that day on, Sandman began rapping and writing. A piece of Sandman had died, and Sandman the Goose was born. At the start, he was influenced by rappers such as Tupac and Nas. Sandman spent a lot of his time tapping into his artistic abilities, making music, sketching, painting, and drawing. Sandman grew up in a disciplined home with a strict father that led Sandman to become rebellious. In his teen years, Sandman also worked at his family's gas station that was located on Florence and Crenshaw. In 2005, he was recruited by Yahoo and Pepsi as a West Coast representative in a segment called Mike Pass. During this time, Sandman was being managed by Big U. He was actually one of the first artists Big U started working with and had on his unique music entertainment label.
Man, he got some of the same mannerisms as Nipsey. You know, I can see the resemblance, the hairstyle, sort of, the whole night, the build, everything, the complexion, everything. This is crazy. Also from 60's, also became a rapper, also under Big U, also dead.
Sandman the Goose, coming at you. Got next. No, you got now. Watch it. Here we come.
This was before Big U started fully focusing on Nipsey. The Sandman knew Nipsey from a young age as a result of Nipsey's father and Sandman's parents being close.
Sandman, what's up, dude? On this shit, we just all like go off the little neighborhood and we take credit cards up. Yeah, like get shit cracked in. That's what it is. I know what it is, man. Me and Sandman, we bros on many levels. Cut from the turf, day one nigga. Cut from back home, same place I'm from. We got the same ethnicity. Oh yeah. Tell us about that. Yeah, we descend from East Africa. That's where our family come from, our folks come from. We out here in America. My pops came out here when he was 19, so I was born and raised out here. But I'm a first generation out of my family, out of the men that's grown up out here. So, we had a different type of struggle. Yeah, same one nigga. So, we getting it though, man. Ain't nothing stopping us. Ain't no brick wall, only speed bumps, my nigga. That's the motto.
We bounce over them.
Yeah, 100.
We don't want no distractions, no interferences out here.
At the age of 19, after years of living the street life.
So they both from East Africa. They both from the same place or what have you. No wonder they look similar. So So yeah, they know each other. They getting along. They buddies. They day ones. They grew up together. Him and Nipsey. You know, they right there talking before Nipsey really became Nipsey. You can see that Nipsey was very young in that video. Younger, a lot younger than, you know, what he was when he passed away. Oh man, this is wild work.
Sandman spent months in jail for an alleged robbery for which he was later found not guilty. At this point in his life, Sandman turned fully to the streets. And by the age of 20, he took a wrong turn in his life and ended up in jail again. After he got out, he slowly started to change his life around. But on August 2nd, 2008, after leaving the studio to take a friend home, he was followed by gang members. After they walked up, they muttered a few words and opened fire. Bullets shattered the windshield, and Sandman was struck 9 times. He was shot in his colon, liver, both lungs, left and right diaphragm, shoulders, and neck. He had to undergo 8 surgeries and was in a coma for 26 days. Miraculously, he was able to recover from the shooting and use music as
miraculously is right. That was a miracle. Shot 9 times, looks like every damn where. They walked up on him, muttered a few words, as we heard, then opened fire. This was clearly a hit. But, you know, it was a hit and it wasn't a hit because they didn't kill him. In that situation, in that instance, he survived.
Therapy. At the time of the shooting, the Cinderella Park families and Rollin 60's were going back and forth at an all-time high. Sandman continued to push his music in the studio day and night and shooting music videos every week. His work ethic was amazing. On September 27th, 2012, Sandman was fatally shot in the alley on the 4300 block of Crenshaw. The location is in very close proximity to Big U's Unique Studios. After his death, rumors began to fly in LA that BPS, Troubles, Schoolyard, or the 60's did it. Many thought the circumstances surrounding his death were fishy. Court records showed that earlier that day, a few 4 trade gangster Crips got into a skirmish with 40 members at the McDonald's on Crenshaw. One of those 4 trade members being Oliver. After getting punched in the face, Oliver and a few gang members drove back to their hood park to regroup. About an hour later, the 4 trade members returned near the McDonald's, in an alley, where Oliver allegedly fired a weapon over the roof of the vehicle, fatally striking Sandman. 6 days after Sandman was shot, Oliver sent a text saying, "Nah, Shanika just called me talking about I gotta leave LA, everybody know. She said she wanna meet with me and talk, but I'ma tell, just about the fight, not the shooting." A week after the shooting, Oliver changed his phone number. And 2 months after Sandman was killed, Oliver was detained. Oliver Goodrich was eventually found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 50 years to life. The family of Sandman was not satisfied with the outcome and believed something deeper happened. Court records said that there was no evidence that Sandman had anything to do with the fight at McDonald's, nor was he even present when Oliver got punched. The LA streets been talking, and it's widely believed that the 60's allegedly had a hand in Sandman's murder. Many people also compare Sandman's story to Nipsey's, although it is believed at the time of Sandman's death, he and Nipsey were not on good terms, and it's been noticed how Nipsey or the 60's don't honor Sandman's memory with frequency. Sandman used his passion for music to elevate himself and his family. He believed in the grind and always represented for his home country.
That's what I'm about, man, teaching everybody out there some knowledge.
Yeah, because I don't hear much about them, you know, like that. I mean, I don't hear much about any of their, you know, dead homies, passed away homies, other than Nipsey or whatever. You know, it's probably like that unless you are just real big individual, big OG, big figure in your hood. As far as the public hearing about it, they may talk about it amongst themselves in their hood, what happened to him, you know, and grieve or what have you for those who want to grieve, but perhaps not publicly. You know, Nipsey, Hussle, whatever, that's different. But however, it seems like this individual here was indeed a big enough figure in his hood, had enough rank to where he should be remembered publicly or whatever, you know. I don't know. And so apparently they caught the person that did it, or, you know, found him guilty, gave him 50 years of life. So they're saying that the individual did it. And I don't think that he said that he was from 60's, but just that, you know, the streets are saying, or the rumor mill is still spinning, that perhaps the 60's were somehow involved. And you know, he's insinuating that Big U perhaps was involved because he said it happened close to his studio or whatever. But all of this is just conjecture because at the end of the day, they caught the individual that did it and he was not from 60's. So this was perhaps just something else, bro. And sometimes, you know, again, you can take a story and twist it and create a certain narrative and influence the listener and have the listener believing that this or that happened, or it is at least a possibility, when the truth is nothing like that actually happened. But these stories can really be edited and twisted, bro, to have you believing in certain things. Inflammatory statements designed to inflame the listener. Not saying that the narrator here, shout out to Hood War Stories, is necessarily doing that, just explaining that this does happen and can happen and has happened.
That they ain't seen about, because there's more out there that we don't know about, that we do need to know about, and it's being blocked, you know what I'm saying? Yep. In order for you to find out, you got to find out on your own and do some research, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, keep people that's on finding out the truth, not the false, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of false out there, false advertisement, and, you know, do your own research, man. You know, look at the times we in right now, you feel me? Ain't nobody talking about what's going on, but you know what's going on. So, you know, do your research, man.
That's where you from?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, man. Originally from Eritrea.
Wow. Dang. All right. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Rest in peace to Sandman. Whatever happened to him, he lost his life in the street, rapping, what have you, a member, a gang member, survived the first attack. Individuals walk up to him and open fire, hit him 9 times. Somehow, you know, he miraculously survived that. And then we only get so many chances. Once you survive one attack, a lot of people turn it around then. They change their lives and say that's enough. Not everyone, but a lot of people do. And say, okay, that's enough. You know, God, whatever, whomever you believe in, spared me. I'm not about to keep looking death in the eye. You know, I'm done with this shit. And be done with it. Not blaming him for perhaps still being in the street or whatever, because some people continue to go for what they know and all that they know, regardless of what happened to them. You know. Bad, sad situation. I see the resemblance and the similarities to Nipsey, Hussle. Rest in peace to both of these men. You know, I'm sure at some point they would have been a strong contributor to society, to the community. Nipsey was already doing some things for the community, of course. I don't know exactly what this individual here was doing, but everyone needs the chance to evolve into that, to get to that point. And they just never get the chance to go further in their life and in their career. And that's sad. You know, the streets love no one. They take everyone out. You can give the streets all the love that you want, but they're not going to love you back. F the streets. They're not going to love you back, bro. They don't care about you. F the streets. F the streets. They're so fake. Nothing but death and destruction in those streets. From us to one another, man. Get out of here with that. F the streets. Rest in peace to Sandman and Nipsey Hussle, man. Good story here, man. I mean, I wasn't too familiar with this individual. I know a lot of individuals, you know, of course, heard of a lot of individuals who I may not have met. Not him, though. That is, I don't know why either. Everybody get out while you have a chance, because it's not going to end well. Stay safe and stay free, people.